All right, Keon Brown, still on location. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are excited for you to be here. This is NCCU Live. Today is September 30th, 2020. Now, coming up tonight, we've got double trouble. We got some twin power happening, some educators out of NCCU, and also a legal eagle who just has a brand new distinction that he gets to celebrate, and we get to celebrate him. You are in the right place at the right time. NCCU Live starts right now. All right. Bass is here with us. Welcome to NCCU Live for September 30th. We're so grateful for you to be here and joining us tonight. You could be anywhere, but you're here with us. Bass is in the building. What's up, Bass? Welcome back. Come on. You lit tonight. You got a ring light or something.
Hey to the ring light. Hey to the ring light.
Let's go. Welcome back. We were praying and we were just excited for you to be back. So how are you tonight?
I'm definitely grateful. I appreciate all love and support that I've gained. But we're here at NCCU Live. Man, we got double trouble today, huh?
We do have double trouble.
Yeah, we got double trouble today. It's gonna be a live show. One thing I just want to touch on real quick. Yesterday was the first time that we seen the debate. And I definitely seen some information. I definitely see a lot of different comments. But I think the most important part, and like we touch on the show, is the vote. Whether who you vote for, the most important thing is to vote. I just say, just from my perspective, just listen to what people have to say, and you make your own decision. But as long as you vote, if we do not vote, and like they mentioned last night, it's a different vote this year. It's mail-in ballots. So, that's something that, people think may be a little false. It's not the same like we used to. The calculation is not going to, may take a couple more days to calculate. So it's very important to sit down and just listen to what both candidates got to say. I'm not saying to vote for this person, but it's important to just listen and see what they got to say and just make your own decision. But most important, you have to vote. Eagle vote.
Yeah, well, let's tell you about that real quick while we're talking about it. Let's go into Eagle Vote 2020. We're about 34 days to the election. So I'm so grateful that you're talking about it. And last night was what I would say a spectacle. It was a spectacle. My head was hurting. I was like, what is happening here? Some people say they don't want either one, but, clearly one can lead and one cannot. So I'd rather have a leader and figure myself out around leadership than to be here with someone who cannot lead. So what was the one thing that stood out for you in the debate last night?
Well, I would just always sit there and say, and I take pride when I say this, you have managers and you have leaders. People can dictate and be a manager and tell you what to do, and the leader sit there and shows you how to lead. And that's what I took from it. You have a person that's going to be a dictatorship and just going to sit there and say, hey, do this, and not allow you to talk, not allow your comments to be heard. And I think that's very important when somebody is trying to lead a country. Your voice matters, and Black Lives Matters at the end of the day. So our voice has to matter. So that's what I really took out. Our voice matters, and if we're going to vote with somebody that's going to allow us to speak and have a voice of opinion, because it is the First Amendment.
One of my favorite memes was the only time Trump shut up was when he was asked to denounce white supremacy. That was funny to me.
Yeah, I heard that too.
All right,
got a lot of different memes going on. A lot.
Well, also while you're here, we're celebrating 110 years of truth and service. I've been on the phone with NCCU all day today. Just excited about homecoming, excited about just really celebrating the university and looking to be active alums in whatever way we can financially and also with our time and resources and intellect. Also, if you have not yet followed us on Instagram, go to Eagles Alumni Network on on there. And if you have not taken your picture and posted it and used the hashtag NCCU 110, please do that.
110, guys. Let's get it. Come on now. We need that hashtag.
Indeed.
Right there, right there, right there. Oh, I'm over here. This way, that way. Come on now.
You can hold it in a box. You can hold it over here. You can do like that. You can do like that. You can do it. Be creative. Do something.
NCCU 110. Please, guys. We want you guys. Let's get involved. You know, we be getting a lot of pictures in. We're thankful for the people that post pictures. Let's get some more pictures. Let's celebrate our proud alumni as NCCU 110. Eagles Alumni Network hashtag. Let's get it.
All right, Bass. Who do we've got on the show? I know we've got Dr. Jamia, Dr. Andrea, and Cory. Who's going first? Who we have first?
First we got Dr. Andrea's first. She should be coming up first. One of the twins. She's coming up first. I think it's gonna be a great show with both of them and just their experience at being NCU, but what they're doing now. They're both doctors, guys, and they're twins. Like, come on now. Come on. That's hey, like you said, right? Elevating your degree as twins. Let's go now. And of course, last question against Cory Patterson. I'm so excited to see what's going on.
Indeed. Well, let's jump right in. I think Dr. Mills is on the line. So let's pull her in while you're here so you can say, hey, let's get her in. Dr. Mills, you're there. Hey, Doc. How are you?
What's going on, Doc?
Now, this is Andrea, right?
It is.
Okay, look, we got to make sure we get it right. I went to school with him. Indeed. All right, Bass, let me get to Doc Mills, and we'll see you at the end, all right?
All right, you guys have a good show. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Dr. Andrea Mills, how are you tonight?
Oh, I am doing well. How are you guys?
I'm excellent. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations on all your success so far. Before we get into what you do professionally, can you just let us know how NCCU found you?
Okay, so I am a proud product of NCCU. My parents both went to North Carolina Central University where they met. My mom and my dad both being in the band. My mom also was part of TBS, and then also we all share a bond of being a part of the wonderful sorority of Delta Sigma Theta. And so NCCU found me as a child going to homecoming, and that is something that I still practice today, even with my own kids.
Yes, come on. That's what we call a legacy, Doc. Come on. Yeah. Now, I have a lot of twins in my life, and look, things are going crazy right now. You got Kenzo on my text, excited to see her people and all of that. So, people watching you already know. Y'all come with a squad. Alpha Lambda come real deep wherever they go. So talk about your trajectory. I went to school with you guys. How was NCCU when you were there? And also, let's talk about having a twin, having like a built-in best friend. How did that go at NCCU?
So we entered NCCU in 2001, and I was actually part of a Ron Edmonds Scholar because I knew, like in middle school, I wanted to be a teacher. So of course, my twin and I both went to North Carolina Central at the same time, but we were kind of split up. I was a product of Andy Day before they kind of did all the construction, and she got the wonderful life of being in Baines. But as an education major, just trickling through that, the School of Education was new at the time when we went through Central, so it was wonderful being a part of a cohort of just like-minded individuals and being an honor student. While at Central, I also was a part of Champaign, and that was a wonderful experience being able to not just be a student, but be a student athlete and really knowing on a collegiate level the expectations of student athletes and knowing that we can succeed and excel in the classroom and also on the field. And then also while I was there in the spring of 2004, I was able to pledge the best chapter in the world, Alpha Lambda, and being a legacy of Alpha Lambda with my mom. And actually, I had another sister who pledged in spring of 2002. NCCU was just bled in my heart, and it was just the only college that I applied to, the only one I got in, and I'm definitely pushing my kids to go to NCCU as well.
Indeed. Thank you for all of that, man. I'm so grateful and excited for you to see you now. I haven't seen you in so long. Talk about your professional career. Are you an assistant principal now?
I am. So I started out, been 15 years as an educator. Started out as a middle school teacher, taught grades 6th, 7th, and 8th grade English. And then at some point I thought, hey, I can do the admin thing. So this is my first year transitioning to the role of almost like an assistant principal. I live here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So being an AP over pre-K through 4 is out of my lane, but it's been an exciting experience. And COVID has really brought some creativity to the admin world. So.
Yeah. How did NCCU equip you for this new role and this new season of your life?
One of the things that I really enjoyed was at the time that I started getting into my major, they were trying to do the difference between blended learning and face-to-face. So that was kind of the first time where I was able to experience learning online. And that's been something that's been helping me because I got my master's from Central and I decided to do that online as well. Even my doctorate, because of just my career and where I was living at the time, I was able to get my education online. So I will say that the strenuousness of being, and I think just being able to prioritize as an athlete and being part of a sorority and also having to be on a full scholarship to keep my scholarship up and my grades up, that allowed me to know how to persevere in tough situations and be able to just forge through things when they got difficult for me.
Indeed. For the kids who are coming in the fall right now in COVID because of Corona, Lachey the virus, we've already named her. What do you say to them? There's so many traditions and things that you and I got to experience on the yard during our time. What do these kids have to experience? What do they have to do while they're there?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I could just go back to thinking about just Chicken Wednesday, and I know the calf is so much better. It's 2 stories. It wasn't like that when we were there. But fried chicken Wednesday and having a DJ in there and just being around other people who, are students, but also just there, like to have like a common purpose, like the fish and also just hanging out on the yard, even before I became Greek, just being able just to walk around and at 10:40 break, being able to see kids, to have a break from learning, just to have fun, and just to be social, but be social in a positive and creative way. Those are the things that I really miss the most. I'm still in contact with a lot of my professors on social media, and a lot of them have really forged away as far as when I was deciding to pursue my doctorate. And I promise you, I got my master's from Central, and if Central would have had a doctorate program in education, I would have been enrolled. I definitely enjoy the value of the education I got. And I will say with my Central diplomas and degrees that I have, I've been able to get any kind of job and any kind of schooling. It's prepared me for just that lifelong learner that I am.
That's exciting, and thank you for saying that your degrees have equipped you and propelled you into the realm of possibility post the nest. Let's go into your doctoral degree. Talk about, I'm graduating with a master's, going into a doctoral. I want to ask you, going into a dissertation kind of environment, going into that terminal kind of situation, how did NCCU equip you? You're a double eagle and you're going into a doctoral. How did you go in there? Were you prepared when you saw your cohort and saw your colleagues as they were speaking? Did you feel ready? How did that feel for you?
I did. When I started my master's, I was in my first year of teaching. And so being able to be a professional full-time, working 40 hours, and then having to go to school online or just in the afternoons really equipped me for the doctoral program because it was similar. I went to a school in Minnesota where I lived here in North Carolina. So also being able to learn just that through that process of being able to work full-time and then, do school on the side, my master's kind of helped me with my PhD. During the time that I got my doctoral degree, I ended up having my son. So being able to prioritize being pregnant and having a newborn, and then also being able to finish, I think finishing was really for him, just to say I got kind of to the end. And I will say that I am a proud Eagle, and I will wear and being an NCCU alumni proudly.
Well, we're going to leave it there. I hope that you stick around. We're going to bring your sister in a moment. And at the end, we look forward to keeping talking to you. So if you'll stick around,
okay.
Please. Well, let's keep you on for a moment. I want to talk about the election and the debate last night. There's a couple of things, and we don't go partisan here. We want people to vote. That's what we're encouraging people to do. We're 34 days away. But here's some statistics, right? Pennsylvania, 238,000 Black people did not vote in Philly. In Florida, 379,000 Black people did not vote in Miami, did not vote. 93,000 people in Wisconsin, Milwaukee specifically, did not vote. Black people, 233,000 people in Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh, and Durham did not vote. 233,000. And by the way, if you're not a Trump fan, okay, Trump won North Carolina by 173,000 votes, and 233,000 Black people did not vote.
Wow.
Okay, what are your thoughts on that? And specifically, if you saw the debate last night, what are you left with?
I'm just really left with just the need that we have to get out and vote. Being in the school system, we even promote our elementary students to like do some fun voting and taking polls to see like just what they think. Not to push an affiliation on anybody, but to know that your voice does count. Even in the last election, my son went with me, and I posted on social media the stickers of both of us saying we voted. Just getting him to understand the importance of mommy standing in line to vote and to have that vote. And no matter who gets in office, letting people understand that taking time out of your schedule to make that one vote count, that one vote could just change who we put into office. And so I just want to leave people with knowing that no matter how you vote, whether you're standing in line or you're going to do it electronically, you have to get out there and get your voice heard. Because if you're not going to vote, then there's no need for you to complain.
We'll leave it there. Dr. Andrea Mills, class of 05 from North Carolina Central University. Thank you for joining us. Stick around. We're going to bring you back in at the end, all right?
Thank you.
All right, Doc. Man, I remember Andrea and her sister. Man, so great to see her. Looking forward to seeing Jamia in a moment. Let's go into our next guest. Cory Patterson, he's from 06 during my time there as well, was recently selected for the MCC Sources of Success program. That's the Minority Corporate Counsel Association has chosen Cory for this honor because of his work there in Charlotte as an attorney. I'm very, very excited about him and what he's doing to bring him in. There you go, Brother Cory Patterson from Gamma Beta, since we always, talking good, talking big. What's up, Cory?
What's up, Kiara? How are you?
I'm good, man. I mean, it's great to see you. I haven't seen you in years and years and years and years.
It's been too long. It's been too long. I see you got the gray, man. I like it. I'm loving it right now. I'm digging it.
Yeah. Hey, man, I think about 40, I'm gonna be completely white there, bro. And I'm gonna keep
that's
it.
Distinguishing, baby. That's distinguishing. That is distinguishing right there. That is distinguished.
Well, not as distinguished as you. When I'm on LinkedIn, I get an alert saying that you've been, accepted into this program. You have served as the chair of the diversity committee for Greenville County Bar Association. You're a member of the committee in the South Carolina Bar, Young Lawyers Division, and all this other stuff that you're doing in the legal realm as a legal eagle. Talk about what you're up to and how it works for you. How you feel?
Man, well, I feel great, and I've been blessed thus far, man. But there's still more work to be done, And so, right now, especially in the legal field, we are the least diverse profession. The legal field is the least diverse profession. That's out of doctors, accountants, you name it. We're the least diverse, and so I've kind of made it my duty, especially coming from North Carolina Central School of Law. And North Carolina Central University, being a double eagle, that, we have to make sure that we continue that pipeline. We have to continue, growing the practice. And so that's what I'm committed to do, man.
Yeah, and we'll get back into that. I want to talk about legal eagle, double eagle. I want to talk about all of that. How did NCCU find you?
So not a lot of folks know, but I actually have an older sister. And she graduated from Central. She's class of '93.
Wow.
And so I'm following in her footsteps. I'm from Winston-Salem, but I was going to go from the Trefo. I was going to go to Wake Forest. But I visited North Carolina Central, and it just resonated with me. It was like family. It's like being home. And so I chose Central, and it was the best decision I've made.
Awesome. I mean, and I think you may be the first legal eagle that we've had on NCCU Live. So grateful that you're here. And I actually was in the law school talking to one of my family members that teach in the law school and saw your picture. And they have a whole, I'm sure you've seen it, but you're on law. Talk about NCCU School of Law. This is it's a national treasure. It's something that keeps NCCU nationally ranked. Talk about the North Carolina Central University School of Law.
When you talk about history and having a rich history, Central is, especially Central Law, Central undergrad as well, but Central Law, I mean, has an extremely rich history. There's a picture, and I wish that I actually had it up. I just went and got the print of it, but there's a picture in North Carolina Central School of Law from an artist called Ernie Barnes. Ernie Barnes is a graduate of North Carolina Central. He played in the NFL and then had a career as an artist. And he has a picture called The Advocate. The original is up in the law school. And I think that picture kind of embodies, North Carolina Central School of Law. I mean, you talk about some of the best lawyers, judges in the state of North Carolina and across the country graduated from that institution. And it's it's right in our backyard, so you can't say enough about the rich history from, the School of Law. It's definitely a definite treasure.
Now, one reason why we started NCCU Live and this kind of platform was to have people like you and the Dr. Mills that you'll see soon, as experts in their field. So when people have questions, they can actually lean into a NCCU graduate and with their expertise. In your field, given all that's happening, come on, the election coming up, the legalities of both candidates, what comes up for you and what would you offer as a lawyer in this season?
I would say in this season, man, make sure that you know your rights. Make sure stepping out of the election just for a little bit, just when, criminal justice is one of the areas, at least for me, that's near and dear to my heart. Making sure, what happens when you get pulled over. Making sure you know what questions to ask. What information you have to divulge. For Black and brown folks, we have to know exactly what our rights are. We can't operate as other folks do, very nonchalant. We have to know what our rights are because we're going to be looked at always with the eye of suspicion. And so with this pending election coming up, we definitely need to make sure again that we know our rights. We definitely need to get out and vote. If that debate last night did not encourage you enough, if that wasn't encouragement enough, I don't know what is. We've got to get out. We've got to let our voice be heard. And we also have to participate, right? We have to be able to participate in the process and know, what the voting process is, what it entails, because there's some folks that are still going to try to take that right away from us. And we need to know exactly what our rights are when it comes to when we step in that polling place as well.
Absolutely. But before we go to Dr. Mills, we're going to bring her back in and we're going to bring you back. What is one misconception? Matter of fact, Cory, I'm going to leave it there. We're going to ask you a couple questions when we have everybody on the screen. Thank you for being here. Hold tight. We're going to bring Dr. Jamia Mills in and we'll bring you right back in. All right?
All right. Sounds good.
All right, that's Cory Patterson, class of 06, Esquire from the School of Law at NCCU. Next up, I told you we're going to have double trouble, twin power. Tonight, excited to have them. Let's bring Dr. Jamia Mills in.
How are you?
What's up, Doc? How are you? I'm great.
I'm doing great. I can't complain.
Good to see you, and congratulations on all of your success so far.
Thank you.
So we got to speak to your sister before, but I'm so grateful that you guys are able to be on and you're able to really share your expertise. Now, you're in IT and in the tech industry as a consultant. Can you talk about some of the work that you're doing in the field?
Yeah, the field itself and technology really is changing. I remember as a little girl, my mom was an educator, so that was no brainer that Andrea went into education. It was never something I wanted. But as I went through my career in technology, there was a need to mentor and really teach people. People would come up to me as a consultant and say, well, how did you go into this path? And I remember telling them a lot of it was just me falling in. I had the ideal career path, but along the way, there were bumps and bruises, a lot of lessons learned, a lot of challenges, because technology is a competitive market. Regardless of your race and gender, it really is competitive, and there's a lot of opportunity. So as a consultant, it works well. There's a lot of things that I can do with my skill sets. For someone like me that gets bored easily, I don't like repetitive, it works well. And then eventually I transitioned over. I still do consulting. I also do education. And people saw things in me to write courses and mentor students. So it's really great to talk to people, whether they're fresh in college at 18. A lot of students are really in second and third and fourth careers. They're trying to come into IT. And then you have a lot of students that, just like with COVID, they're laid off. So they're at a crossroad. They're like, I don't know what to do. I want to do technology. So a lot of things that I do is really well. Being able to, I started coding, but I don't code anymore. So now I'm kind of like the boss. I can kind of liaison between people. So it really works well, with my schedule, being able to travel and give me that work-life balance to raise a teenage daughter.
Oh, wow. Congratulations on that as well. For people who are, scared of technology, and I'll have to tell you more about the Technology Leadership Association we founded, and we need to have you in there. For those who are scared of technology, especially those who started out in a career, COVID got them at home. Now you're not only a parent, but you're also a teacher. What would you offer people who are scared of technology, who have been thrown into it during this time of COVID?
Yeah, technology is really a field that can kind of blind you. A lot of people, when you think of technology, they're so into the technical. Okay, it must be very technical. But there is a project management side. There is a business side. There are a lot of realms to it when it comes to technology. So a lot of times it's really just trial and error, because a system is a system. It is programmed on the back end. So it does cause a lot of frustration and challenges. So a lot of times I tell people, don't be afraid of technology. Really embrace it, because you'll be surprised how much technical stuff you know. If you're on your phone and you can do all types of things with apps and things on your phone, you really do know technology. So a lot of times I think people are scared of the field itself until they get into it and start to see how it blends with just their everyday life. And someone like me, who has a 9th grader in high school, you're doing this homeschooling and virtual schooling. So a lot of times you're forced into it. Someone like me, it seems to be easy, but it is challenging at times for me, somebody who is in technology, when you're dealing with Zoom and the technical issues, and then the system's down and I'm trying to fix it, things like that. But it's all around us. I think it becomes the new norm. As people look to online shop and online grocery shop, I think the world really is shifting to us being more technical minded and take advantage of technologies in order to just, do life a little bit better and easier and effective.
Come on, Dr. Jamia Mills. Thank you for joining us on that conversation. I want to bring Sis still around. Is she still there?
Yes, she is. I think she went out, but yes, she's around. Make sure she come back in.
Yeah, tell her to come in. I'm gonna bring Cory in. Tell her to come in. Let's bring Cory back in.
Okay.
So we've got Dr. Jamia Mills and Cory Patterson, Esquire.
Hey, Dr. Mills, how are you?
Yeah, Cory, it's been a long time. Nice to see you.
It's been a long time. It's good to see you.
Like a reunion.
I know, right?
Ain't that great? I love that we can do it doing technology, right?
Yeah.
Using technology, we can do this. Homecoming is canceled, but we get to do a homecoming right now, and every week at 7:00 on NCCU Live. Let's conclude by talking about the election, and not specifically the politics of it, but what's at stake. I wanted to go back with Cory about knowing your rights. What is at least one right that people you've seen consistently don't know, and then because of not knowing that particular right, they get themselves kind of in an entanglement, if you will?
An entanglement. I like that. Entanglement has to be the word for 2020. One thing I think that a lot of us, like I said, and I reiterate this to kids that I speak to, is that when an officer, let's say you're walking down the street, an officer, stops you and asks, where you're going and all that stuff. You do have to. You can talk to him, but you do not have to disclose all of the information that where you're going and all that stuff. You don't have to disclose that information. A lot of times our youth get into the trouble when they start talking to officers and just going off, telling them everything, and you don't have to. And then also another one is you don't have to let them search your car or search you for that matter. And so, you have to be able to know that you can walk away unless you're being detained, that you can walk away. like I said, criminal justice is one of those things that's near and dear to my heart. That's all of my pro bono activities. That's all I do. When it comes to pro bono stuff. So just knowing that you don't have to talk to the officer, you don't have to, let them know where you're going. I think that's one that we need to hammer home.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Dr. Mills, as far as technology is concerned, I'm so interested in this, for people like it's NCCU that have to do online courses, and some of the young people who are currently on, they're like, I don't like doing it. It's overwhelming. I'm not able to, plan accordingly, or I wait till the last minute. What do you have to say as an educator and as a tech professional?
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge. And especially as a collegiate course writer, my focus really is online. And as an instructor, teaching online and data analytics and IT, I do teach undergraduate, master's, and doctoral programs. Our students do find it challenging. A lot of the students may have language barriers. They may struggle a little bit with just learning, because everyone has individual learning styles. But as a course content writer and expert, the way we write that course is really as if we were lecturing. So a lot of times we encourage students to critical think. We don't want to just spoon feed you and give it to you. But sometimes it's hard when you're in these technical classes and all you get is a video from the instructor, or you get a couple resources and you're reading it and you're trying to interpret. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do? So a lot of times there is a challenge. And I know time management, it's hard. Andrea and I both went to Capella to get our doctorate. So that was 100% online. And, it's easy to say, okay, so on Monday, I'm going to do this, this, and this. But then life happens. And it's like, I get behind. Then I get behind. Then I get behind. So it's really trying to understand, one, the course structure, the deadlines, and then just really understanding where my personal learning struggles are. Because you'll be amazed as instructors, there are things that we can do. A lot of times I do have students that have accommodations and we have to create additional lectures and materials and break things down. So just being open and communicative about your personal learning struggles really can help you as you do virtual. And that's what I tell my daughter. What is your learning struggle, so that we can work on tips and tricks to kind of help you as you're in this virtual school, in the moment. So understanding your challenges, and then it has to do with the topics and being open with your instructors, because we can't read your minds. We don't know what's going on. If you don't email, we assume all is good. So just building that relationship. And even with me, it's nice to see Cory. It's nice to see you, Keon, because I still network with a lot of people at North Carolina Central. I either help them get jobs, or I work with them, or we're in social networks together, or just professional networks. And any way I can help, I can. So it's very important to build those networks and those communications. Because like Andrea said, I could give you a recommendation. A lot of my students come to me for recommendations. So going into school with a focus of not just trying to get through the course, but really understanding, what can I take from it? How can I build networks? How can I build that relationship with my teacher? This may be a teacher that knows scholarships. They may know a recommendation. They may know a company hiring. So going in with a different mindset than just going into the course just to try to get an A or pass the class, but going in really with goals and a mindset to achieve and be your best self.
Indeed. Cory, any final thoughts on being an alumni and how important that is and what it's brought to you?
One thing, if I can't reiterate enough, please give back. That is one thing that we have got to do. We've got to give back to our universities, our HBCU. North Carolina Central is near and dear to my heart, both undergrad and law school. Give back. If that's, like I said, we have got, because that lays the foundation for how we move forward and how we move, our family, Eagle family forward. You've got to give back. And definitely don't be afraid to reach out as well. Like Dr. Mills said, reach out on LinkedIn. If you need to connect with me on LinkedIn just because you see I went to North Carolina Central, you do it. Because if that means we family and we're connected. And if I can help in any way, I'm gonna do my best. So definitely reach out.
Thank you for that. And we've been rejoined by Dr. Andrea Mills. Final thoughts. Good doctor.
Lucky times too.
I know. I think the two of them summed it up the best. Spring of '04 was a great year, and I will say that we just had really good college experiences. And like they said, I mean, it's good to know that you went to a university where, you know, here it is almost 15, 20 years later, and you can still walk on campus and still feel like it's home. And that meant the most to me when it came to just, you know, choosing a university and just making sure that, you know, it's an authentic love that any Eagle has, no matter what year you cross those, you know, those sloping hills. It's all love. And that's something that I definitely appreciate. And I know there's other HBCUs out here in the world, but NCCU is dear to our heart. And it's probably the only one that will exist in this household.
Come on, speak that. Speak that. Well, we're going to leave it there. We are at time. We have Drs. Mills, Dr. Andrea Mills, and Dr. Jamia Mills, and Cory Patterson, Esquire, attorney at law out there in Charlotte. Thank y'all for being here. For those who are watching, remember, if you haven't joined the Alumni Association, go to nccualumni.org. And if you have not yet done your recurring gift to the university, go to eaglesgive.com. So easy. And remember, it's 34 days till the election. Please, please, please vote and get a plan together for you and your family to, if you can, go to the polls. Go to the polls if where possible, but make sure that you exercise your vote. We got some E-Funks in the chat. We got that's my little sisters in the chat. Alpha Lambda's watching. I bet Gamma Beta's on here watching as well. They're saying, please give back. I got Eagles all in the comments. Man, y'all remember that an Eagle is no common, ordinary barnyard fowl. Thank you for watching. I'm Keon Brown on location here in Durham, North Carolina. This is NCCU Live. Thank y'all, Eagles.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Take care, guys.